All right, welcome everybody. This is Jim Percival in Little Rock, Arkansas, and I'd like to welcome y'all to the NutriCell. This is the Wednesday night Team Dynasty team call. We have these every Wednesday night at 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific there. So always tune in, and you can always find the number and everything on our Team Dynasty website that we're going to be updating here with lots of good information. That's at teamdynasty.com. So if you want to write that down, go check that out periodically there. But let's get the call started here. First off, I'd like to bring on a guy that I've known for a long time. He is probably one of the most professional network marketers, speakers, trainers. He has just literally shown that he came up from being a 22 or 23-year-old getting into network marketing, not knowing anything, and he was a quick learn, and for the last 20-some-odd years has just went out there and knocked them dead, folks. This guy, I'm so proud of him there and proud to have him on the team. But none other than that, I'm going to announce Mr. Todd Sasser. Have you joined the call, sir?
I sure have, Jim. Can you hear me okay, sir?
Coming in loud and clear, sir.
All right. Thank you so much for the kind words of introduction, Jim, and going ahead and letting the folks that's good at math go ahead and be able to add up my age. I appreciate that. I was hoping some people still thought I was 23 or 4 or something like that. But thank you. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for meeting and greeting everybody coming onto the call. And welcome, everyone, to tonight's Team Dynasty NutriCell team call. It's my pleasure to be coming to you through the phone lines there, and we do have a wonderful call lined up for you guys tonight, as Jim was talking about. Normally on these calls, what we like to do is keep them short and compact, around 30 minutes in length or so. Tonight may go just a tad over that. That's going to be up to our featured speaker that I'll introduce in just a minute, but we want to keep things short and compact and simple and easy in your life. You know, we don't feel the need to bludgeon you in business. We hopefully just want to inspire you in business, and I can't be happier about the simplicity of our business. But normally what we do on these folks calls folks, I should say, is highlight a few people and talk about what the product is doing for them in their life with NutriCell's lineup of Be Light and Be Safe. Tonight, instead of doing that, we're going to introduce you folks to the formulator of our wonderful products and let him explain to you how and why this stuff is producing the miraculous almost results with some folks out there. Now, keep in mind, be sure and always keep this with you. You know, we're not in the business of trying to cure, treat, or mitigate any kind of medical condition or disease. That's not our job. We're not medically licensed. We're just entrepreneurs sharing a wonderful opportunity and an amazing product and improving other people's lives that come in contact with it in that regard. So please always respect and protect the integrity of our opportunity, and don't make wild claims out there as you share this with people and tell them it's going to do this or that in their lives, because we absolutely don't know that. There's a good possibility that our products will improve just about everyone's life that brings it in. You know, we're hearing stories across the board. You folks have heard from lots of the people that I heard ringing in at the beginning of the call, such as Bob Robbins and his lovely wife Stacy in Florida, and their improvements down there. They're losing weight. They've got more energy and focus, and their medical conditions are improving. Nelda Martin over in North Carolina, the same situation there. Of course, Jim himself, the gentleman that introduced me, you know, he's losing weight. I think he's down 11 or 12 pounds by this point. Really decreased his diabetic needs, his insulin intake. We've got folks up in Indiana like Ellie Smith that's suffering from a cognitive disease of sorts called MS that's never felt better. You heard Nicole Lauck introduce herself there in Arizona. Her and her mom's never felt better. Her mom's got several kinds of crippling diseases going on there. Their lives are just improving, and they're feeling better. One of my favorite stories so far, I mean, they're all wonderful. They're all wonderful. I love hearing people talk about feeling better and losing weight and know somehow that I had kind of a hand in that. There's nothing more gratifying in life that you'll ever experience than that feeling. They don't print enough money to compare with the feeling you'll actually enjoy from knowing that you had a hand in helping somebody actually feel better. But there's a lady in Indiana I hope to meet one day named Judy Smith, and at 80 years old, she came into the business, ordered the products, the Be Light and the Be Safe, and in unison consumed those and politely lost 11 pounds in her first 4 days, folks, lost 14.2 pounds in her first 7 days, and that was a week or 10 days or maybe 2 weeks ago. Now I've not heard any updates like most of the people I've just talked about, but these are the kinds of stories that we're hearing across the board, and these are early stories. These are very infant type stories. You know, if they don't compare yet to like a gentleman in North Carolina that was on our corporate call a couple of weeks ago that had lost, I think, 126 pounds in the course of 12 months. But the reason this all is happening is because of the genius that's behind the formulation of our wonderful products. And it's absolutely my pleasure to be able to bring him onto the phone and hear from him in this regard. You know, he lives down in South Florida in Miami. He and his wife and the 3 children, they've been married for 26 years. You know, when you think about formulators, I don't know if you're like me, but you start thinking about scientists. And when I think about formulators and scientists, I'm thinking about the folks that walk around with the shirt protectors or the pocket protectors in their shirt pocket with the pen sticking out and the horn rim glasses and maybe some tape in the middle of them, you know, and they ought to have Waldo on their name badge or something. But Mr. Fred Saenz, our formulator, is a little bit different. He brings a different skill set to the table because he actually began his adult life, his career portion of his life after he got out of school as a TV producer. So he actually has the ability to convey and articulate in a way that most scientific type people don't. Most type of scientific type people and formulator type people, they have that domineering, almost abrasive form of just blasting information out there at you, and it's up to you to try to keep up with it and write it down. Well, Fred, you know, he's a very experienced speaker and very articulate at what and good at what he does, but he delivers it in a way that's a lot more enjoyable. And of course, that comes from his TV producing career. Now, as he's going along with that, folks, you know, he was introduced to a product going back to 1994, and I'm going to let him tell his story and how this was introduced in a sample manner to his wife there. They were going through some traumatic situations. It was a product called Shape Fast. I'm sure Jim Percival would be familiar with that product as well. It was involved in a company where they all enjoyed the relationship with their owner, Dave Austin, and it really had a remarkable, difference in their lives. And as a result, it opened Fred's mind, and he started learning about nutrition and, in fact, decided to go back to school and actually become a certified nutritional consultant in 1998. Now, he's developed some products here that are politely amazing. You know, I can't hardly understand in my mind how we can get all the benefits out of just taking simple capsules that people are reporting in. You know, it absolutely should be more complicated. It should be more expensive. It should be a lot more of something to be producing the results that it is other than just out of a simple capsule. But Fred's going to weigh in, and I hope he will go ahead and explain with us why this is happening. He'll tell us why that we're missing some iodine in their diet and that's infused into these capsules, and something that they don't have that makes them even more potent and effective is the fact that they don't have the magnesium stearate included in there that most products across the board that come in pill or capsule form include. And I just can't wait to hear more in depth about all that I've kind of loaded up there for Mr. Saenz, and I hope I've not overwhelmed you with things to talk about, Fred, but if you don't mind, come on and share with the folks what you've been able to pull off and accomplish here with Nutricell, sir.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine.
All right. Thank you, Jim and Todd, and, of course, the Austins for making this opportunity this evening possible. Putting all this together on a regular basis is a wonderful thing that I am beginning to enjoy. I can tell you that the hard part of formulating is crunching all the information and then sorting it out and putting it together in a formula. But the fun part is getting to talk to the teams out there that are taking this product, to the next level and incorporating the products into their lives, and then watching it work, and then with those results sharing with other people and getting them on board. This is something that most formulators don't get to do. As a matter of fact, it's really hard-pressed to find any company that will give you access to the formulator whenever you need them for a call or a text or a question, because they're based on books, and they don't really know how to explain what they put together, because they're given the task of putting a formula together with a bottom line involved, and they use the cheapest possible ingredients. So there's usually not much to talk about, and they don't want to put the formulator in that position. Me, on the other hand, I can't wait to tell you about the products that we're putting together that don't exist anywhere else on planet Earth. You just cannot find these ingredients together in one bottle, in one capsule, because most formulators don't know that they're putting in the wrong ingredients. That's just for starters, because they're using books, and they're not really going in depth into what the ingredients do when you do finally take them. Secondly, formulators don't really want to get involved, with the people that are consuming it, because they don't profit from it, and they don't they don't care. They just get paid a salary. In my particular case, I don't have a downline. I get paid for putting the formulas together, but I have to talk to the people, because if not, then you might miss the point. You might not take it correctly. You might not understand what's happening to you when you go through the transformation. So I'm here to help that aspect of taking the products. But explaining a little bit of the background of the products at this point would probably come in handy. We've got two products out right now, which is the Be Light and the Be Safe. We have one on the boards that I'm okay to mention now, which is the probiotic that's going to be called Be Pro. Those are the three that we are starting out with, and these things have evolved over the last 5 years as organic ingredients have come online. The awakening in America right now that is happening is that companies, in order to squeeze every penny out of profit out of their products, have been putting slowly over the decades more and more chemicals into our food to make them last longer, taste better, look fresher, have a longer shelf life, this kind of thing. And as they've done it, we've slowly paid the price. And the price has been a decline in our health, because the chemicals are clogging up our bodies, causing organ failure, and then associated side effects. And this, of course, is what's happening if you're taking most of the standard products out there. They've got ingredients that are not organic, which means that these things are usually covered with chemicals, and then they put in, at the end of the formula, more ingredients in the other ingredients department, which helps the manufacturer make more pills faster, better, and don't clog the machine. So they put in a bunch of stuff that actually work against us when we take it and cheat us out of the money we're paying, because most people don't realize that there's magnesium stearate in your product. You're maybe getting 20% of what you paid for. The rest is going right out the back door, and you see none of it. So we sat down many years ago, and I had a daughter in college that was raised in our home, like all my kids, organically, and they ate really well. But when it was time to go to school, I knew that they were going to face the beer, the pizza, and all the other nonsense that most kids eat away in school. And so I developed a powder that she could take. Actually, it started as something she could brush her teeth with, and then you swallow, and then this would protect you when you ate bad food loaded with toxins, Doritos, whatever. It evolved over the years. Then she accidentally got radiated from some of the radiation that came off the Fukushima disaster back in 2011. That triple nuclear meltdown in Japan sent over a cloud of radiation, and she got caught in it. And so we thought she was going to die of lung cancer or something. So I added a bunch of other ingredients in it to help pull out any radiation that's coming from nearby nuclear power plants, or it's in your water, or you live in an area that used to blow up a lot of nuclear bombs during the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And so the product kept getting better and better and more refined, and I finally bumped into Dave after many years, and he had a product that was really good at weight loss and energy. And he said, he asked me to take a look at it, and I said, well, it needs some work here, but it's definitely doable. So we put our heads together, and we started to develop the two products into what they are today. And the key here is that the ingredients in the products are pure. They're the purest, most compatible forms of ingredients a human body could take. There is no cost cutting. I told Dave, look, I'll formulate, but I need to do it organically, which is almost non-existent. There's only 2 or 3 of us on the planet, people who formulate strictly by certified USDA organic standards. And that means that these are chemical-free, non-genetically modified ingredients that won't give you cancer or clog up your organs or give you side effects. And so that's where we're at this point. We're starting out with these 3, and from here we're going to build others that we think are going to be very necessary to pull this off. But what you have here is a triple play. You have the product you need to get up and go because you're got up and went left, and you are stuck trying to get through your day without the energy and the ingredients you need to provide a good stretch of work without feeling crashed out after work and without falling asleep on your way home in traffic. This is the kind of thing that plagued me. So we put in what I discovered was the antidote for fluoride. And again, I use that word loosely because we're not claiming to cure anything. But fluoride, turns out, is a neurotoxin and the only ingredient in rat poison. It's not good for your teeth, despite what the dentist will tell you. Despite what the government says. Nobody wants this hot potato to go off in their lap during their lifetime, so everybody tries to kick fluoride down the road, but it's too late. The world has woken up. Countries all over the world have given it up. 200 cities in America have given it up, and the movement is growing. And so the antidote, what happens is fluoride destroys your thyroid. So maybe 80-85% of America is hypothyroid. That means their thyroid, which normally contains iodine, has been flushed out by fluoride, which is a copy, very close cousin of iodine, but very toxic. And so a thyroid without any iodine in it puts you in a disastrous position. Your hormones are out of balance. You're not making sex hormones. You're not making adrenal hormones. You're not making the hormones that make your body function, that actually make you who you are. The other thing the thyroid does is it kills germs. It acts as a bug zapper, like the one in your backyard that's electric that zaps when you hit it with a bug. Well, if you have germs in your bloodstream, when they pass through your thyroid every 17 minutes, the thyroid iodine kills them on contact, and this is how your thyroid scrubs your blood of germs. It doesn't work with fluoride. It only works with iodine. So we've got a bunch of bug zappers that don't work. And so thyroids are critical, and to restore that, we have to resupply the body with iodine. Now, I'll give you a little tip. The FDA sets the daily values at things, whatever the ingredient or nutritional component may be, based on studies that remove that ingredient from the diet until they die. And then they put it back in just a little bit higher. That's your daily value, just above dead. That's how the FDA sets the daily value. These are ridiculously low amounts. I ignore them at all times, and I recommend everybody does too, because you couldn't possibly get enough B12 in your system if it's the right B12, which is the methylcobalamin, not the cyanide version. The methylcobalamin B12 is very important because everything you detox in your body through your liver, your kidneys, your spleen requires one molecule of B12. And so we're busy detoxing at least 200 toxins in our bloodstream every day from the tap water and from the foods that we're eating, whether it be conventional foods at the grocery store or, God forbid, drive-in or drive-through. So we're loaded with toxins as a country. It's been getting worse since 1946. It's now reached its point of no return. If you don't do something about the incoming toxins and shut them off somehow, then you are going to slowly fall apart prematurely because it takes life away from you at the end. And so I can't tell you how many people in the last 15 years I've consulted with that have spent their whole life working really, really hard to build up and pay everything off and get the kids off on their own, careers and their paths, and then instead of settling down in the sunset of your life to enjoy traveling and seeing the world and the sights and all the things people love to do, they get sick. They get sick and they spend all the money they've saved up on doctors and medical prescriptions and operations. And of course, I've got 2 doctors in the family. I've got a dentist in my family, and I've had many, many long conversations with them, and they tell me, we don't know any of this. We're not taught this in med school. We are taught to diagnose disease. We are taught to prescribe pills that shut down the symptom that you've described to us, and then we perform surgery. We are not allowed to cure anything. I mean, the medical industry would collapse if they came up with a cure for cancer, because there's just too many people in the business of cancer. So this is a known thing, and we're going to just go along with this because this is a system in place. Now, if you don't do something and get out of the way, it will gobble you up too. And so the B-Light is what you take in the morning to fire you up with a ton of iodine and minerals and all sorts of stuff in it that do what you need in the morning. That's to get up and get out there fired up, full of energy and focus to do your day. Now, the B-Safe is what you take before you eat something that's toxic. Any non-organic meal is going to be toxic. Doesn't matter which one it is. And you take a B-Safe like an antidote just before that meal. I'll give you a classic example. A bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken used to be one of my favorites. I haven't eaten it in years and years. That has got more MSG in it than any other food on the planet, chicken in particular. But Kentucky Fried wins hands down. And now MSG is a neurostimulant and a toxin. It gets you excited and you feel good, but then it kills that brain cell. So you pay the price of the buzz of MSG, which makes all food taste much better, and that's why it's in there, because it can make really nasty chicken, which tastes horrible, from the farms they make it in. And we eat it, and it tastes wonderful with all the 11 herbs and spices. Those 11 herbs and spices are mostly MSG, monosodium glutamate in many of its forms. And this is a known neurotoxin. It is also the chemical scientists give lab rats to make them fat. So if you're in a study and you have to make your animal big and fat, then you give it MSG, because it'll blow you up every time. So we include a taurine in the B-Safe, which cancels MSG on contact. All right, now we have taurine in our bloodstream. It's busy doing other things, but MSG is something you don't want even to get into your bloodstream for our liver and brain to have to process. You want to kill it at the source, which is your stomach, just before you eat that barbecue at your uncle's wedding or whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. The point is that it has it in there because so many foods now have MSG. Just about everything has it in it. There's thousands of products. And if you don't block it, you will gain weight and you will get dumber. It's that simple. Neurotoxins don't play, and they slowly lower your IQ over time. So you've got the iodine in there. You've got taurine in there. You've got the B12 in there. You've got a lot of things that are very important for, a productive day. But most of it is energy related, and most of it is feel good stuff. Okay, we don't have a whole lot of caffeine. I know some of the Starbucks products have several hundred milligrams of caffeine and many grams of sugar. I mean, that's death in a cup as far as I'm concerned. But we do have a little caffeine in there to get you going, and we've got some nice Hoodia Gordoni from Africa, which has been used for a couple of thousand years by the Bushmen of the Kalahari Desert. When they go on their 20-mile hikes to hunt food, they nibble on this cactus out in the middle of the plains of Africa, which suppresses appetite and works really well if you get the real McCoy, because you have to get the stuff that's from South Africa. If not, you're going to get a Mickey Mouse copy from Mexico that China sells. And of course, that doesn't work. It doesn't help with your appetite at all. So a B-Light is the get up and go one. The B-Safe is like your antidote. It's like raising your shields, because your day is loaded with toxins that you are now going to slowly learn about. Because when you take B-Safe, you're going to get an education, which is very rare with a product. You can't randomly take B-Safe without knowing what it does and why it's doing it. And then, most importantly, take the steps. And these steps are baby steps. You crawl and then you walk and then you run. You start to make better choices. You start to look for healthier sources of food, farmers markets, Whole Foods, New Leaf, Aldi's, Costco is now going organic, Walmart's giving it a try. So you're going to have to look for that little green and white sticker that says USDA organic. And that little sticker, green and white sticker, tells you there's no chemicals in there. It is not a genetically modified ingredient. Which takes me to now the third product, which is coming out shortly. Keep it under your hat. But the B Pro is what we are putting together to combat Monsanto and DuPont and Syngenta. These giant agricultural giants have been putting out what first must have sounded like a good idea. Hey, let's grow some corn and put some bug spray built into the corn so when the grasshopper eats the corn, it dies. Well, everybody went crazy. Well, it turns out that bug spray also kills us and gives us cancer. But it takes a longer time because we're a very big bug. But what we're doing is we're eating genetically modified food, and when you eat that, your gut bacteria, which has 100 trillion bacteria in it, and it acts like a garden, your gut bacteria gets slaughtered every time you eat a genetically modified product from Monsanto, mostly corn and soy. Soy is deadly. Even organic soy is not good for you. But corn and soy are horrible from one end to the other, and if they're genetically modified, they're going to give you cancer and kill you early. So you have to be super careful. So what we do is we give you a probiotic, which is the beneficial bacteria in your stomach. And you eat this before, during, or after meals, and it repopulates the bacteria in your stomach, which you just killed off by munching on a cob of corn that's got Monsanto bug spray built into it. It's as simple as that. Your garden is 85% good and 15% bad. Your gut bacteria have to have some bad, so it's about 15% bad. We call them weeds. And then the good bacteria we call the garden, the flowers. And normally there's a real healthy flower garden going. It shades out the weeds, keeps them in check, and you're at about 85-15, which is a sign of good health. Now, if you eat things or take antibiotics, you'll kill that bacteria. It takes the bacteria about a year to grow back. And in the meantime, you're about 50-50 now. So the weeds are encroaching on the garden, and they're starting to kill off some of the flowers, and you're in a battle now because you are sick. And you need the good bacteria to be higher. And in order to do that, you resow your garden. You sow the garden with these probiotics that you need to digest your food and to repopulate that garden. Also in the B Pro is going to be digestive enzymes, because as you get older, you lose the ability to digest as you get older because you don't produce the enzymes in them. On top of that, the food that is processed has no enzymes in it because they get destroyed by heat. So if you do anything with an apple besides pluck it off a tree and eat it, you're wrecking the digestive enzymes that come built in. Microwaving your food breaks down and kills all the enzymes. So there's many things that we're doing that are wiping out our ability to digest our nutrition properly, and if we don't, then the body ends up converting it to fat as opposed to fuel. So it's important to have digestive enzymes in this particular product to let you digest your food like when you were 21 years old and could eat anything. So that plus a selection of fine vitamins makes B Pro the triple threat that we're putting together, and we'll be out, having it out shortly, so that everybody then can have the three things they need every day. And if you tally up how many different products we've crammed into these three, I think it comes to like 9 or 10, which used to be what I complained about when I used to take vitamins. I'd have a tackle box, and I'd have all these different vitamins, 10, 15, 12 bottles worth, and I'd be taking them like some old lady every day, all my little pills. Little did I know they weren't doing much. They were full of toxins and genetically modified ingredients, and I was wasting my money. Now I know better. So I've taken that same concept and just crammed all that into 3 products that you start out with that will give you a fighting chance to then learn about fluoride and avoid it by filtering your water, carrying your water in a stainless steel or ceramic or glass, not plastic. And we'll be getting into plastic down the road in some other future training. But and then, of course, making smarter choices at the grocery store, looking and reading your labels so you don't get corn or soy in you that isn't organic. So this process takes 2, 3, 4 years sometimes. So it's not going to happen overnight. You're going to need to take something on that journey to getting the cleaner and healthier food and water into you. But what happens is the minute you learn and you start to make changes after taking these products, your body responds. It responds to better gut biota. When your garden is blooming with flowers and keeping the weeds in check, it's going to feel better because you're going to get more nutrition out of every morsel when you have enzymes in there to help break it down for you. You've got Be Safe protecting you from any hidden ingredients in that meal that looks so delicious and tastes so good, mostly because of chemicals. But nevertheless, so you're not going to stop living, and you're not going to change everything overnight, but you're going to add something to your day that will block these incoming toxins and repair some of the damage they do, and then restore function to your major organs. It cleanses your liver, your gallbladder, your spleen, et cetera, et cetera. And the B-Light is just hang on Molly, because that's the one you take in the morning that gets you up and excited and motivated to do this again day after day. And I can only tell you this as I close. We are constantly in motion. As new organic ingredients, certified organic ingredients come online, we incorporate them immediately into the formula. We're going through that right now with all three, because a bunch of new stuff has just come on the market because the movement is so big. I mean, this is an industry that's growing 200% in the last 6 years. So it's skyrocketing, and everybody's jumping on the organic bandwagon because nobody wants to be sick and tired all the time and then ending up spending all their money at the doctors. Like I always say, you either pay the grocer or you pay the doctor, one of the two. And we're going to choose the grocer, and along with a collection of fine products, hope to get you there in one piece. And that's pretty much it. Back to you, Jim.
Or Todd.
Or Todd.
Hey, amazing job, Fred. Gosh, you're just a wealth of information. I can't be more excited to be hearing the things that you're sharing with everyone. You did just a masterful job of explaining what's in the product, but if you wouldn't mind, just take a couple of minutes and let the folks know what's not in our capsules, and that's what makes them so effective in their delivery, what they're actually missing that most capsules and pills out there all contain.
Well, in order for companies to maximize the speed of the machines that they manufacture these capsules with, they put slippery powders in there. One of the worst is magnesium stearate. They have stearic acid. They have silicon dioxide. They have chemicals, and these chemicals are contaminated. But it's not so much of the contaminated. Magnesium stearate can actually wrap itself around your ingredient and prevent you from digesting it. It used to be a cosmetic ingredient for making creams. It's sort of a waxy, slippery white powder. It says on the bag right here next to me with magnesium not to be taken internally. Okay, so they tell you, no, it's been used for 40 years, it's great. Yeah, it is great for them. But for you, it coats your intestines with a biofilm and prevents you from absorbing 80% of the product you're trying to take and pay good money for. And so I'm going to be doing one YouTube video here, and I'll be posting it on my Facebook page, the Formulator Facebook page. But I'm going to be doing a YouTube video to show you just how effective magnesium stearate is at stealing your ingredients and stealing your money, because nobody wants to pay money for something and then end up peeing or pooing it out. And that's exactly what happens when you take magnesium stearate, and they don't give a stitch. They really don't. They're not going to change. Like I said, there's only a handful of us out there that know the difference and have done something about it and are removing it from all formulas. Heck, I never put it in, and I never would have, because I knew about it, way back 10, 12 years ago when I first discovered what it's doing to us. So the other ingredients are just organic rice concentrate. That's it. And that powder is as slippery as you need it to produce these capsules day and night. It's organic. That means it's not contaminated with arsenic, lead, cadmium, mercury. These are commonly found in rice ingredients. And so, again, everything is tested. We have the certificates of analysis for anybody to look at. We're going to be as transparent. We're going to be ridiculously transparent because we've got nothing to hide. So no question is too small, and no one is going to be, cut off at the pass. You can ask any question anytime to me, or Dave will answer it as truthfully and transparently as possible, because that's where you build the connection between the home office and the teams out there enjoying the benefits of the products. Nobody gets more excited about doing something that's going to make them maybe money and income if they know that they're doing no harm. They're only helping. That's the key. You couldn't possibly hurt somebody with these products if taken correctly. They're just so beneficial. Your body is starving for these ingredients, but you certainly don't want to add magnesium stearate or silicon dioxide. Ever buy something that's got a little packet of crunchy stuff in it? It's like a gel. It's like a drying gel. It says, do not eat poison. And you get them in packages of binoculars. When you buy some vitamins, they're in there. That's silicon dioxide. And you don't want to be ingesting that. You don't want them to add that to your powder to make it slide through the machine so the machine doesn't get all sticky. That's nonsense, and we won't do it. So these are some of the key things that make our products completely different than 99% of the other products out there. We don't use anything toxic. We don't have anything that's going to hurt you, and we only get the highest possible quality certified organic ingredients that are completely poison and toxin-free. That's the only way to go. At least it lets me sleep at night. And so, yeah, that's what we don't have in it. Anything else?
Thanks again, Dave. See what I did there? No, hey, thank you so much, Mr. Saenz. Really appreciate you coming on to our team call tonight and then sharing your insight. Like Jim said, we are recording this call. We hope to actually include it in our team website for reference purposes as time goes forward. And I just want to thank you again, and on behalf of everybody, thank you one more time. My head's literally been set on fire. I mean, you gave us just a wealth of information and in a common sense as possible way for the scientific information that you're covering there, but it's for all of our best benefit and all of our best interest. I mean, there's no question what's going on out there in front of us. You know, we don't have the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients in our food anymore that God put in the dirt and that was designed to be the delivery into our body through plants that grew out of the dirt, animals that ate them, and so on and so forth. Then we compound that with the chemical onslaught of the commercialized food. I just want to thank you for developing these types of products that are helping people improve their health. Tremendous information, just tremendous. Folks, I think you'd agree that we have something real special here. I can't be more excited. We're in front of a tsunami. You know, right now we're only a ripple way out at sea, but we are absolutely going to create that tsunami of health and wealth success for many, many years to come. Our products are nothing short of miraculous. Some of you already have experienced them. Some of you have just now started learning and hearing about them. I can't wait for you to start experiencing them also. They're simple, they're clean, they're absolutely effective, and they come in a capsule. And guess what else? They are very, very inexpensive. We don't charge a war price to help you feel better here, folks. We have a very simple but explosive business opportunity attached to this. You can come into business at Nutricell for no investment. You can absolutely start for free. You simply try and buy the products we offer that you want to. No auto ship is required here, guys. That's completely on the people's terms. I love putting it this way. Sign up and get your free website. Try the product if you want to. Across the board, everybody says it's tremendous. Encourage others to try the product. If they do, you get paid. If you want paid more, become active. To be active is only $19 every 30 days without an auto ship. And at the end of that 30-day period, if you simply slipped up and forgot to make that $19 purchase your entire overhead to be a business for yourself, then you've got a 5-day grace period on the back of that. Guys, that's the most honest and ethical business plan that my eyes and ears have ever been introduced to. It's absolutely up to you, and it's completely on your terms. This is an amazing opportunity, one that you and your family cannot afford to miss. You know, this is something that can absolutely set your family and your future generations financially free. Whatever you do, folks, whatever you do, Don't miss this. Just don't miss this. Thank you for joining us tonight on the Team Dynasty call. God bless you, and we'll see you again in a week. Good night.
Be safe, everybody.